At any time this weekend, we could get the details of the government's takeover of mortgage giants Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. It's a much anticipated move to keep the housing crisis from getting any worse. Chris Keating's live in the newsroom with more on that tonight. Chris?
10 years ago, a bailout of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae would have been unimaginable. But with more and more foreclosures, there's a real fear. These two lenders don't have enough cash on hand to survive, so a bailout is now on the way. A government bailout of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae is expected to be announced Sunday. The reins of both lenders would be handed over to the feds for at least a year. An historic decision, and one even the presidential candidates couldn't avoid while on the campaign trail. Barack Obama seemed to consider the action a necessary evil.
These entities are so big and they're so tied into the housing market that it is probably true that we have to take steps to make sure they don't just collapse.
Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin said of the lenders, they've gotten too big and too expensive to the taxpayers. In fact, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae hold half of the nation's mortgages. Also, the Mortgage Bankers Association reports more than 4 million homeowners are behind on house payments or in foreclosure. That puts in question whether these lenders could actually continue to stand on solid ground. This buyout would keep the companies afloat, but there's something else to remember here.
As taxpayers, that's another matter. You know, we're going to be on the hook for quite a large bill here.
Mortgage banker Alex Stenback is referring to the cost. Data from the Congressional Budget Office assumes this intervention will cost at least $25 billion. Now, as for the effect on Minnesotans, Stenback doesn't really expect much change.
For those with good credit, good capacity to make payments, equity in their homes, or the ability to make a down payment, it'll mostly be business as usual.
And Stenback says you need to remember, this is about keeping the money flowing, which would allow the market to correct itself and people to buy homes. Live in the newsroom, Chris Keating, 5 Eyewitness News.